Gotcha. Led, how did you do that?
I pulled my virtual background shot from the salon yesterday.
That's so funny.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning,
How
Kathy.
are you?
How are you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Barbara, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
You'll be fine. We've got 4 people joining us already. You'll be just fine.
Okay.
I have faith.
I woke up this morning and I said, what am I supposed to be doing today?
Hey, Kathy.
Am I supposed to have slides? I didn't know what to do. So no. So Diana, Lynn, I'm really going to rely on you all. I'll do a brief introduction. And I'm going to make it very conversational. I don't want it to just be us presenting, but I want people to feel relaxed when they get off of the phone.
Kathy, we've got people on the call already, so there's about 5 people here. You might want to give it a couple minutes before we really get started. You can't see them, but they can see you.
Okay. Can they hear me?
Yep.
Okay, we're just waiting for Arthur and
Bless you.
Barbara, is there a link for Facebook?
No, Kathy, we'll be posting the link to it from Facebook.
Okay.
Hey, Kathy.
Okay, we're just waiting for Arthur.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello,
Howdy.
how are you?
Been a long time.
It has.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time. Okay, Kathy, what is this link now? Okay, think about it. Think about it. Kathy, someone is asking. Who's Kathy?
Okay, it's still early yet. It's not 11 yet.
So a link will be put on Facebook for people to put in their questions.
People are actually asking questions now as they check in, and we'll go through the questions.
So are they able to join the meeting?
Yes.
And where is the link for the public?
Let me ask Barbara. Barbara? Barbara?
Sure, the link was sent out to everyone. The people on the screen are just the presenters, and the audience can see and hear you. If they have questions, they're going to enter them in the chat box.
Okay, who is the everyone that got the email?
It was sent out to all of the lists that the city had for hair salons and barbershops.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay?
Yep.
So basically, it won't be live then.
No, you are live, and we're also recording it. And I have 2 people signed in as Kathy.
Okay, so if I needed to share this with my clients, where can they, if they're on Facebook, where should I send them? Is it going to be live on Facebook?
No, it's going to be, the link to the recording will be posted on Facebook
Okay.
after.
After, okay. Ooh, what happened?
Oh, I think that I'm signed in as Kathy Graves too.
What's your name? I can just rename you.
Arthur White.
Got it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I called that number, the New York number, for Diana. It's like a list of numbers, I think, that you.
Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you all for doing the panel. Really appreciate the extra effort. Can someone tell me where I can get my haircut soon? Who's ready to go? Lenny,
Yes.
543 Whaley Avenue.
do we have are we just in the panelist room so far?
I lost my feed.
Everybody's in.
Mike, there's 22 attendees in the other room.
Great. Did we let him in yet?
They've been here for a while.
Great.
We already have a couple questions. Do you guys want to handle those now while we're waiting for folks to join?
Yes.
First question from Dan, I can see, is it required to get tested for COVID-19 as an employee before reopening? I would go with, what the state of Connecticut has been telling everybody anyways already. If you're not feeling well, if you've got a fever, blah, 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 you call your doctor and get a prescription and get the testing done.
Yeah, Diana, I would just add that the mayor has been pretty clear that the Day and Chapel Street testing site is testing asymptomatic people. And if you're a business that's planning to open, you should take every precaution and go and get your workers tested, especially if they're returning back to work. just to take every precaution as we all start to reopen.
Yeah, but as you go through trying to get through on that phone number, it doesn't connect. And I don't know if you can just do a walk.
You can call the health department at 203-946-4949 and
Nobody
they'll
picks up.
Go a little bit slower with that.
Right, what's the number?
946-4949.
I'll type it in the chat.
But I called, I was on hold for an hour and 15 minutes and no one
Yep.
picked up.
Oh.
And I know CVS is offering an appointment to go to Long Wharf.
You said
They
Dan George?
They aren't testing asymptomatic people. That's why we push people to go to the Day and Chapel Street site.
That's 1612 Chapel.
That is the testing site that's testing asymptomatic people right now.
And will they take walk-ups?
Yes, you can walk up, but you need an appointment.
And is 946 the only place to get the appointment?
If you go to covid19.newhavenct.gov, and I'll type that in the chat as well, that has a map of all of our testing sites with the hours of operation, the number to get an appointment, and if you can't get in touch with them, you can always call the health department line. There's one more question here. I think we should just get it out of the way now before we get started. Andrea Zola is asking, has anyone given specific details on guidelines for blow dryers? I believe the governor had a recent announcement on that last week. Mike, I think you know a bit about that if you want to take this one.
One of the things we're going to talk about today is how responsive the state has been to some of the concerns that were raised by this group, and that was one of them. So you might see in the printed document, or if you picked up an old version of it, that it said no hair dryers, but they did amend that out of response from some of the technical and trade organizations and concerns that were raised.
And what made the change? Because if it wasn't safe to blow dry initially, why is it okay to blow dry now other than pressure from other salons?
I think that's, one of the things that we'll talk once the webinar is ready to go.
Okay.
Think about it. We're going into a much different, world right now, and response and recovery is a lot different, when we're dealing in a pandemic than maybe a snowstorm or if it's a hurricane or something like that, where you really do need to identify the best practice, the most responsible way forward. But that's a discussion between public health and the folks that are putting the protocols together, and they've weighed that balance. I don't know exactly what was behind the blow dryer conversation.
Will someone from public health be on the call?
Yeah, we're expecting Maritza Bond to join us as well.
Great.
Okay, Kathy's having a little problem with her audio, so she's going to log out and log back in. Thank you. And then we'll start the official program.
Okay, I was trying to, can you hear me now?
Yeah? Yes.
Okay, didn't you see me trying to do sign language? Good morning. Okay, we're here now. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and I truly apologize for the technical difficulties, but we have an exciting panel today. I'm excited about everyone being here, and as you know, salons and barbershops are high contact environments, and they necessitate interaction that really defeats the whole violation or defeats the purpose of social distancing. And hopefully the rules that the state of Connecticut has outlined will help enforce, or I should say mitigate the risk, but we have to follow some sort of, the rules will be our minimum guidelines that we have to follow in order to mitigate the risk. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be new normal that we have to adjust to. But I think with our panelists today, we'll be able to, we'll leave this call feeling pretty confident that our salons will be a safe place. It may not be a meeting place anymore, but it will be a safe place. So this morning I have with me practitioners that have, I'm going to say, over 60 years together of experience in the cosmetology area. So I have Corrine Holmes. She is Wholeness, I'm sorry. She is owner of Hairs K, located in New Haven. I have Lynn Yanovich, the owner of Ramage Salon and Spa, downtown New Haven. I have Bianello Baez. She is the owner, along with her mother, of Finesse Hair Salon in the Fairhaven area of New Haven. I have Diana Leonardi, and she is the owner of Branford Academy and of Hair and Cosmetology. And I have Arthur D. White, who is a barber here in New Haven. So I think we'll be able to globally manage and talk about the safety of the opening of salons and barbershops. I know that I've received a lot of emails on the challenges and people not supportive of opening salons and barbers, and I understand the risk. However, I hope my panel will help mitigate the risk. So let's start with Diana. Diana's going to give us a global view from the school perspective and the student perspective and safety. Diana?
Sure. We'll start with safety first. That's first and foremost. And all of us, we've done, our 1,500 hours in cosmetology school, whether it was, 35 years ago, like myself, or one of my recent graduates, we've all had to do the 1,500 hours. We're probably the safest place there is in, we already know about decontamination, sanitation. We already practice it and breathe it and live it every single day. So do we have to up our game a little bit? Yes. For the safety of not only our customers, but ourselves and our families.
Thank you, Diana. Lynn?
Yes.
From your perspective, how are you feeling about opening?
Well, I have concerns. One of them is that blow dry question. But as far as taking precautions and being ready, we have done a full-blown lockdown cleanup, sanitizing, repainting, sterilization, new equipment to cover the new guidelines, retrofit the dispensary and shampoo areas so that everything is covered and sanitized and safe to use between guests. So it's been a lot of work, but we're doing everything in our power to make sure that not only the members of the staff, but the public coming in to utilize our business are safe.
Karine?
Like Len, I already did all what I needed to do in terms of, getting new equipment, sanitizing, and just getting ready. The difference for me, I guess, to Lenny, is that I'm a solo stylist. So I don't have staff to worry about. I worry about me, my clients, and, their families and my family as well.
Arthur, from a barber perspective, what have you done?
Well, I own a barbershop, Sharper Edge on Raleigh Avenue in New Haven. And what I did was almost the same thing as everyone else. I have 3 barbers, and Like I did a whole sanitation cleanup thing. I even painted as well. But I had a question. Why was the blow drying an issue? I never got that
So we'll get back to
understanding.
your question in one moment. We're going to hear from Dianella Baez, and then we're going to go back to the blow drying issue because I know that has been an issue for several salons. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Dianella?
Yes. Okay, I think I'm ready because it's the same thing that we do all the time. The only thing we have to take care more is the client. That we have to take, less client. But I think we are ready because we do the same thing every day.
Okay, back to the blow drying. Who wants to handle that question? I'm gonna defer to Lynn and Kareem to answer that question.
Well,
I
I'm
know
the
both
one.
of you have been vocal on it.
I'm the one that has the question because initially the idea of blow drying was that if the vapor molecules from COVID-19 are on the client, with the client, even under their mask, if you're blow drying across the side of the face, is that air going to be pushed out the other side and expose other people in the room?
I think that's a Marissa answer. We have Maritza Bond, our head of our health department for the city of New Haven. Maritza, you're on mute.
Good morning, everyone, and
Morning.
thank you for the work that you do and gearing up for reopening your salons and barbershops. We are anticipating to provide some guidance to each hair salons and barbershops on what the new protocols will be. We will be offering that as a webinar on the inspection process so that you all can be prepared in making sure that that's in place. In regards to blow dryers, that it has been a topic of discussion both at the state level and continues to be reassessed on the ability to use the blow dryer in hair salons and barbershops.
Right. So when is the webinar and when will we get the information? If they're asking us to open on the 20th.
Yeah, if there's time today, I can actually provide some overview of what we have to date, just to make sure, but I don't want to take up this time. I don't know if that's going to be allowable.
Okay, because it is a...
Otherwise, we'll send a notice out later today.
Yeah, because I think we need to really know in order to open.
Yeah, because the
to blow
governor
dry or not to blow dry, because it's going to create. I don't think anybody that goes to a salon to leave a salon unfinished.
Right.
And correct. Can I complete my sentence and before, because I want to just be clear about the blow dryer. The governor lifted the ban once the guidance came out. And so my comment was more around the inspection process. So the governor did lift the ban about the blow dryer specifically so that we don't derail from that specific question.
Okay, and where is the guidance that he got that
on Monday he issued that the blow dryer was lifted from the original guidance that was issued.
Right, but on what merit? On what fact did he base that on? Was it just
so the
pressure?
Reopening committee has an entire health team,
right?
And so based on the health team, they made the recommendation that they were able to lift it as long as the proper PPE is going to be used both from the client as well as from the hair salons and stylists or barbers.
Okay, and is there a contact for this health team?
I do not have the health team at the state level's contact information. At the local level, we will provide inspections starting May 20th once those hair salons and barbershops decide to open.
And what would the inspection be about, really? What should we, because we're getting ready to open, so what would I need to have to pass?
Can we share my screen? Because I have a PowerPoint. Do we have time for that?
Yes, we can share your screen. That would be very helpful.
I'm not going anywhere.
Barbara?
1 second. I'll be able to pull it up and we can go through it. I think it's allowing me to share, so give me a second. I'm gonna go in. Okay, so can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's start. So thank you so much for allowing me the time to be able to delve in a little bit, because I think this is really critical for hair salons and barbershop to have some clear guidance on inspections. To Karen's point, is very important to know what is needed and required. So as you know, the Reopen Connecticut issued this guidance and had specific information about what the employees should wear, what the waiting area requirements are, sanitation. However, what does it mean when we go on site? So this is an example inspection form of what we're going to be looking for. The inspection form can be found on ct.gov under the hair salon section portion of the annual inspection requirements that are going to be conducted by the local health department. And so I'll go through a little bit about what this, we'll go into each category in the next preceding slides. And so what you have in front of you is beginning the inspection process. We want to make sure that the operation status of establishment is serving and providing the following. They want to make sure that the proper training of the new guidance has been communicated with all of the employees that will be working on site. Regarding, I think we heard earlier that you guys are already experts in sanitations, but these sanitations now have an additional layer. So you're ramping up your sanitation requirements. So just making sure cleaning and sanitation of the proper chemicals. And so just retraining and communicating with your team about that. Making sure that you have a clear cleaning plan that follows the EPA cleaning protocols and sanitizers is something we're going to be looking for. Ensure that there's the entire facility, including equipment, has been cleaned before reopening. I know that many of you have been closed for a very long time. And so just making sure that there's a thorough cleaning before opening to the public. And then copies of all of the state of Connecticut Department of Public Health barber cosmetology licenses need to be displayed and presented when we come on site of individuals that are working. And so health and safety, one of the things that the guidance was very clear about is just making sure that when you're, one of the things, and I'm very excited that to be going back to my hair salon, but one of the things that we were accustomed to is that it was an intimate encounter. Most of the time, it was very accustomed to people to talk and have engaging conversations. However, with this new protocol and this new phase of reopening, that has changed, where we want to make sure that people are limiting verbal communication because of the transmission of the virus and how it can, get through the air. So we are asking individuals to please limit verbal communication between the employee and clients, and to maintain the proper social distancing of 6 feet. We want to make sure that you establish a schedule for employees and stagger the shifts and start and stop times and break times to minimize employee contact with each other. You want to make sure you have a proper work log that is created and of sign in and sign out of your employees. And then also undergo a daily health check before having your employees come in. So for example, what we've done with our essential employees is have a daily screening process and temperature checks of the employees. So you want to make sure that you have a daily screening protocol to making sure that your employees are not symptomatic or have any symptoms around that simulate COVID-19 or any other viral symptoms that are concerns for you to allow them to work. Ensure that staff are familiar with the signs and symptoms. And so we want to make sure that there's proper signs posted. CDC has proper signage. We also will provide some signage when we come on board to conduct inspection to provide that support. So what are the symptoms? They should be clearly laid out. And then also making sure that proper mask and face covering while working and gloves Gloves are optional at this juncture. We recommend them, however, to be used, and make sure that they're changed between customers. Employee health and safety, we want to make sure that employees are trained for proper hand washing. And so you want to be talking about having some staff training before you open on May 20th to the public, just making sure that you talk about the proper hand washing for more than 20 seconds, and making sure the hand washing stations and the workstations are going to be equipped and properly stocked with paper towels, hopefully dispensable soap that's touchless. Trash cans is changed frequently, and that there's hand washing signs easily accessible within the restrooms and areas of the wash stations. The front of the house of the waiting areas, customers should, this is part of the guidance. I don't want to be repetitive, but this was outlined in the guidance of where customers should be making sure that they're not congregating inside of the hair salons or barber shops, and making sure that non-essential items are removed from the establishment so that any air particles are not just going into like magazines, etc. So just keeping the area just very clear of potential exposure. And then again, the touchless appliances, hand sanitizers, and proper signage, and making sure that the customers are coming in with a mask before they are allowed into the hair salons or barbershops. The signage, again, visits are by appointment only, so making sure that you have the proper signage. Social distancing, cleaning, and disinfecting protocols are very clear. Personal protection protocols are clear, and proper signage of these are, again, within your respective establishments. Social distancing, again, making sure that there is social distancing markings for staff and customers should be placed on the floor. This was issued in the guidance. We want to make sure that we just reiterate that. We'll be looking for that when we conduct inspections. Barriers should be installed in work areas and provide for maximum social distancing among staff. So just making sure that the work areas are just very discreet, and that there's zones within staff members that does not disrupt the social distancing factor. And also making sure that there's very clear pathways of social distancing. Cleaning and sanitizing of equipment. Ventilation should be increased throughout the establishment, so doors and windows should be kept open and if air conditioning is not an option. Clean and disinfect workstation using approved cleaners, and disinfecting in between customers. So allowing your appointments to give you time to clean in between the customers is going to be critical, so that we can be able to ensure the safety of both yourselves and the customer. And then all disinfectant solution must be legibly labeled with the disinfected name and any dilution requirements that are going to be used. And disinfectant solutions must be made daily and disposed of at the end of the day, or immediately visible debris is present. Per the State Department of Public Health, towels, robes, and linen used to cover or protect customers must be used only once, and be laundered with detergent and hot water in a washing machine, dried on the hottest setting in the dryer, and immediately stored in a clean covered container. A commercial linen service should be used if not done on the premises. And so here we have client protection. You want to make sure that there's no reuse of single service items such as paper neck strips. Linen and capes must be stored in closed cabinets. Shampoo bowls must be disinfected in between customers. Utensils should be washed in utility sink, not the hand sink. A sanitary paper strip or clean towel must be placed around the customer's neck before applying a reusable cape. A covered receptacle must be available for hair, skin, or nail debris. Of course, the nail debris is now on hold, so we're not considering nail, but that was within the guidance. And blow dryers are allowed to be used in despite an earlier ban of issued. And bathrooms. And so bathrooms is another component that you want to be very mindful of. Bathroom must be properly stocked with supplies. There should be clear pathways established between social distancing markings on the floor so customers and staff can be able to see them. Cleaning and disinfecting frequently, and trying to use disposable wipes available in between, and having a specific log of how the frequency of bathrooms being cleaned. so that we can have a schedule of how frequent you're cleaning the bathroom. And of course, I mentioned earlier, trying to make sure that you use touchless appliances. And so I want to open it up at this time for any questions and answers, if that's allowable. And thank you for allowing me some time to provide an overview of what to expect in the next coming weeks.
Okay.
Signage, you said is going to be available from the city?
Just the signage of the symptoms. We have some posters available. Otherwise, you should be printing them from CDC.
Okay.
Will Barbicide certification be acceptable?
Yes.
Yes, that the guidance was clear about that.
The rules as outlined by Director Marissa, I'm sorry, Arthur?
So we can get all the signage from the CDC website, like all the you know, with a bathroom, for the bathroom and for the area, waiting area. And
hand washing signs can be found also on ct.gov. CDC signs has the symptoms for COVID-19, which is really important to note, to have those easily displayed for customers to know and be reminded of what the symptoms are.
And there is to be no waiting room.
No waiting room at all. Everyone should be waiting in their vehicles.
Okay, I had someone ask me a question when families cohabitate. So let's say a mom, a dad, and their child were to come into, say, a salon suite, which is a one-room salon. Can all three of them plus the stylist be in that small room, or do they have to wait in the car and just take one client per session?
If social distancing cannot occur of more than 6 feet, then it's one client at a time.
Okay, so regardless of whether they're family or spouses?
No exceptions.
Okay, great, thank you.
So Marissa, in the case of children, I can't service a child unless the parent is with them. Will that be an allowance? Like a parent can be with?
You should recommend a parent if the child is not scheduled for an appointment. They should not be bringing their child. That's also the requirement for retails.
No, if the child is scheduled for the appointment.
Of course, the parent should be accompanying that child.
Okay.
And they should be masked.
Correct.
Okay, so that is an exception.
For the parent and the child.
Okay.
Not a teenager.
And the mask has to be through the whole service?
Excuse me.
You have to remain, masks have to remain on throughout the entire service.
What if you're like doing a beard, no beards? I mean,
the guidance was very clear about that. If you cannot provide a service without that requires to remove the mask, that service cannot be provided.
Yep.
So based on the rules that's been outlined, what type of challenges do you foresee, if any, in running your salon under this new normal?
For me, it's the first couple of weeks will be trial and error to see how long a service is going to take on the new, with adding an additional half an hour for cleaning. And for what I didn't hear, Marissa, forgive me if I zoned out, because part of the rules is that we have to change our outer garment between every customer as well, not just the gloves, correct?
You should be the guidance issued that is recommended that you should do that.
Right. So one of the things that is going to happen, Kathy, is the cost of some of the additional stuff that we are now going to have. We haven't worked in 2 months, and so for some salons and barbershops, to retrofit for all of this may be a bit burdensome financially. And I guess after a while, because we're doing everything in theory right now, until we go into the salon, we won't have the practical. And so I can't say to you, by me looking at my schedule now, I'm looking at possibly 3 to 4 clients per day based on the services that they're going to get. Mm-hmm. But that's theory. Going in now to see how that is going to play out is going to be, let's do this again maybe next month. And then you can ask me how that was for me. So, yeah.
Diana, Lynn?
Well, I mean, it's a valid point that all salon owners are going to have to come up with PPE for each of their guests coming in. So that is again, does the city have any resource in place? Because disposable gowns, you can order them online, but the delivery date is June or July.
Yes.
Face masks, again, I know, Kathy, we spoke yesterday about the possibility of the company in Hamden for face masks and sanitizers. But one of the recommendations that was made to me is that you're going to add that cost into the cost of service for the guest. So if it's $1 or $2 per guest or per visit, or per service, it will help to offset the layout that the salon has to encumber. Because masks, I mean, if somebody brings in a mask that isn't just flip behind the ear elastic, that's not going to be good if they're having hair color or other services that are going to make it dirty. And
even a shampoo, Lenny, is going to get wet.
I'm sorry?
I said even a shampoo.
Yeah, I mean, getting wet is one thing, but getting dye all over it or getting relaxer on it is going to break it down. So the elastic type are the best that I can see so far. And, you know, the handmade ones, people are coming in with kerchiefs and scarves and things like that. It's impossible to do hair wearing that.
Right, and I agree with you on that, Lenny. I also think that the customer should know what when they're making the appointment on the phone, you need to, at that point, explain to them the type of mask that they should be utilizing. I'm not going to be offering masks when people come in. It's, you have to have a mask on or no mask, no entry. And will I get flashback from that, from pushback? Probably, but I don't supply people clothes. You don't put your clothes on, you can't come into the school. So kind of the same thing. It's now going to be a piece of our clothing, those masks.
Well, I mean, I kind of look at it as the same as a smock. We don't have them bring their own smock. So because these are one of the things that are mandated in order to get service, if they have access to it, fine. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm buying 5,000 masks, but I will have a little bit of a stock hold of masks if someone's wearing an inappropriate one. And of course, we are going to try and not only recommend what type they have. We'll post a photo of it on our website and our social media. We're going to work at having clients prepay for services so that there is no touching, or Venmo or something, Apple Pay, that doesn't involve an interchange between a receptionist and a credit card or cash.
Nella, I know you wanted to say something.
No, I'm with him because that's the same concern I have about the mask, because we do a lot of hair color, and if it, you know, how are we going to do it? So we have to give it the supply mask to the client.
And also one of the things that I've discovered with mask is, for me, Lenny, what I decided I was going to do, and I have to ask Marissa if this is going to be allowable now, was make some disposable mask, right? So that we can just give it to the customer when they come in. And the reason for that is because I've asked the question of people wearing masks, like, how often do you change your mask?
They should be, yeah, disposable masks should definitely be changed daily. And if they're available mask and you're incorporating that into your new service that you provide, certainly that's a creative idea. And then it also ensures protection so that you know they're using a specific mask of your preference.
Right, but it's also that it's clean, because somebody can be wearing a mask all week, all month, and come into the salon, and we're close contact workers. So
that's a great point.
In order for me to guarantee that, and I know my clients aren't going to do that, but just in case, prevention is better than the cure, I decided I was going to make some disposable masks. So Lenny, I can talk to you after and let you know what I intend to do and share that with you.
Okay. And another question came up from a stylist about cutting hair either outside, like on the porch or on the lawn, or blow drying outside, and how would that be affected by zoning or liability?
It's not going to be a zoning matter. You're going to work primarily through the health department, following the guidance that was set forth from the state. One of the reasons why it was important to have Director Bond on the call today was to demonstrate the extra level of attention we're going to give to this group. And what you're seeing on the screen now, I had it teed up as well. You were faster than I was. Remember, I think I'm going to jump in for just 1 minute, because what these conversations, particularly related to beauty salons and barbershops, why is the anxiety so high, right? You're feeling the pressure from your customers. I would like to get a haircut myself. Everyone does. You are the front line. And if the broadest cross section of people in our community go to get their hair done, right? Everybody goes. So the confidence starts with you, and then your employees, and then the customers. And that's going to create so many benefits to us as a community, you know, putting a full end to this virus and getting back into a more normal mode. It starts with you. And I think the anxiety we've heard on the call just relates to the fact that you're going to see the broadest cross section. So things like this that we're doing, that'll explain to your customers and to your employees, you know, yes, everyone wants an N95 mask. That, if you Google searched N95 mask, they're all over the place right now. Everyone wants one. But there's an appropriateness to every level of protection. And that's going to protect you. It's going to protect your employees and your customers. So when you're ready, we're going to be with you to get you ready. And then when you're ready, then you get to open. And I know the anxiety of the 20th is taking on a life of its own, if you will, but we're going to get you ready.
And so what you have in front of you is a Mask It Up. Part of our public health messaging has been to also increase awareness about the different uses of masks and what purpose they serve. And so we will post this on our website and different social media outlets after today's call. But this is just a preview of what we've been working on the city side on the 3 types of mask that has often been a common thread of conversation on different platforms. So N95s are really intended for healthcare professionals and first responders. If you have any at home, we of course encourage people to donate them to first responders. Surgical mask is a one-use only and can be used in public for essential activities outside of your home, and should be worn at all times. And then, as you all know, the CDC issued a guidance regarding homemade fabric masks, which a lot of individuals have transitioned to. And then we also have guidance on making sure that they're properly clean. To Karen, am I pronouncing your name wrong? Karen has mentioned making sure that the fabric masks are being cleaned frequently, and so they could be reusable but should be washed often. And so we're sharing this out with the public to increase awareness on the different types of masks and the use that they serve.
I have just a few questions I want to address, and I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. I have someone asking if makeup application is going to be allowed.
Again, if you have to take your mask off, then no, it won't be allowed.
That's okay. I knew the answer, but I wanted to hear it from you all.
Unless it's eye only.
Pardon me?
Like Diana, just eyes, whatever you can see.
Yeah.
Eyes are a focal
even
point.
that, I wouldn't want to get that close to
That
somebody.
close, but still. But you see, I think even though we're close contact workers, so is the dentist, so is an ophthalmologist. And so, I mean, we just got to be, I just think that coming out of this, the beauty salon is actually going to be one of the cleanest and safest places for anyone to go.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we only have a couple of minutes left. I've been warned, and I hope, Dan, that your question on the N95 mask was just answered on the slide that we just showed on the mask.
I tried my best to answer through the chat, everyone. Thank you. You all asked really great questions. And some of the signs, we will make sure we post them on our city website as well, so that you can easily access them, so that you're not going through Google trying to find them. So thank you, Michael, for that suggestion in the inbox as well. I just want to commend each of you for your dedication and for the work in preparing to gear up to open. And so thank you for all of the panelists and all of those that are participants for the work. And we look forward to our continuing work together to make sure that we're ourselves are safe and others that we're serving also get the optimal services that they need.
So to our panelists, do you all have any closing remarks?
I just had one more question for Maritza. If staff are using homemade cloth masks, do those need to be changed in between every guest?
We recommend that employees not wear the cloth mask.
Okay, how about a question? Do we have to cover our hair?
You know, that's going to be a personal choice if you choose to. It was not within the guidance that was issued.
It's on the state's website.
Is it on the state website?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I must have missed that on the slide, so I apologize.
Yeah. So I guess that means we're gonna have to be covered. But they weren't clear as to what we're gonna use on our head.
Right.
So I guess it can be.
I was gonna say it wasn't. Yeah.
It's not clear, so I guess we can
follow up with you on that question. That's a good question, and let me just we'll get clarification. I have a call with the Department of Public Health at 1 o'clock, so we can get some clarity specific to that, because I just want to make sure we're giving you the right response.
Okay, I have one question. Instead of a face shield, can you just wear like goggles for people who are claustrophobic?
Face shield is recommended in the guidance.
Okay, so you can't do goggles.
I've been warned, I'm down to 60 seconds. Are there any closing remarks?
Well, I'm looking forward to bringing my team back together and working safely and welcoming our guests back, because they've been blowing up my phone.
Yeah, we're just looking forward to going back in a safe environment.
Vanilla?
Yes. No, I'm pretty clear about everything.
Arthur? Any closing remarks?
Just looking forward to reopening and making everybody safe.
I think what you have to remember is that we're here to support you, and all you have to do is reach out to us. We're a phone call away. We're doing whatever we can to look into bulk purchasing or find some preferred pricing for you all, face masks and hand sanitizing. So we'll let you know whenever that's resolved, but we are looking into it, and I know they're looking into it at the state level as well. So just know that we're here to support you. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.